Yo, what's up, everyone? Yo, what's up? Here back with another video, and today I'm diving into one of the biggest events of the year, CDL Champs 2025. I've got the bracket in front of me, and I'll be running through all of my predictions, upsets, and storylines until I find my way to a winner. It's going to be a wild one, so let's get into it. Alrighty, let's hop into this bracket. I'm going to be hopping into the first matchup, I believe, of the weekend, which is LA Thieves versus the Boston Breach. For me, this is an easy-ass pick. This is going to be a straight 3-0 sweep. First day, LA Thieves is putting Boston Breach into the loser's bracket. I think in my tier list, I had a lot of Boston Breach lower in the tiers, and I had 3 of LA Thieves in A tier, and one of them or 3 in S tier and 1 in A tier. So LA Thieves, in my opinion, are the best team in the game right now. They're back-to-back champs. They're looking upward swing type of thing. So yeah, I don't see them losing this. One, if they make it interesting, maybe that could be the only thing, but theoretically, in my opinion, it's just going to be a 3-0. Vancouver Surge versus Miami Heretics is definitely a close one. This is probably the closest matchup. No, this is probably the closest matchup, just because they're not that top tier yet, but they're not bottom tier either. They're very good in the middle. It's really going to be coming down to which surge we get, because Miami, same thing with like kind of LA Thieves, have been on this upward swing ever since they got super. So it's really going to come down to Vancouver, because they've kind of been on a downward trend since they've started Major 4. They went back to back, kind of got swept both times, and then yeah, they can't seem to figure it out ever since then. So I don't know if something changed, if they're upset with one another, but because technically Vancouver hasn't come in looking good, Miami did get third last split, and they beat LA Thieves. I'm going to go 3-1. I think Vancouver only takes the control, maybe, or the first hard point, but even then, probably not. I think Miami just wins this. Moving on to FaZe versus Optic. You know, I'm an LA Thieves Optic fan. You know, I like Nadeshot Scump is really all it is. I don't know with this one, because there's a side of me that like watched Optic play Major 4 against FaZe, and it was actually a close series. But FaZe is really good. It kind of depends on Optic less than FaZe. I think FaZe could come out good and beat Optic if Optic isn't playing good. Basically come out meh and still beat Optic if Optic's playing alright. It really needs, Optic needs to be playing the best COD they possibly can be playing to beat FaZe. And if they beat FaZe, they'll probably make a pretty good run. I'm still going to go 3-2 FaZe, just because I think FaZe is the better team this year. They've proven that consistently, time and time, that they're the better team. So I can't not go with them. Toronto Ultra versus Ravens is similar to LA Thieves. It's 3-0. I know Toronto hasn't looked good, but Carolina has also not looked good. They have all of their CDL points from like the first 2 majors and minors. They were good at the beginning of the year, and then they've kind of been pretty fucking shit since then. Maybe you give them a map, but I'm not even going to give them that. I'm just going to say 3-0. Moving on to losers. Yeah, both teams that got 3-0'd. You know, Vancouver. Boston, actually, let me say this one back actually slowly. Boston could win this, depending on which Vancouver team you get. If you get the Vancouver team from Major 4, Boston's going to win this. If you get any other Vancouver team from the year, like since they've formed since after Major 1, obviously, because they can't go backwards that far, I guess, then Vancouver's going to win this. I'm assuming Vancouver's taking Major 4, gone, holy shit, what the hell happened? We just got to go back to what we were doing, relax, you know. I think they got too stuck on that second place, and they probably tried to fix every little thing, and if anything, that probably made it worse, because then they start tweaking. So I think they're probably going to come in this one a little bit better, well reset, and like, all right, you know, we're good, but when we get there, we'll worry about those little things. So I'm going to take them 3-1, actually. I think Boston could take one against them, I guess. Optic Carolina. This one doesn't really matter. Optic, this is similar to Face. Optic could play good, and I still think they beat Carolina. I don't think Carolina's a good team this year. I know I haven't been watching CDL or COD for a while, but I know there's a thing about like Tease that he shows up in champs and stuff like that. I don't think it matters. I think Optic also does the same. But I also think Optic's the better team, so I'm going to take Optic. And then moving... Oh, wow, that's the first time I've ever done this. Where Winners 2 is before Losers 2. We'll go back to Thieves, Heretics. You know, Miami has beaten LA Thieves. There is a possibility that they beat them again. Is it today? No. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-1, though. I don't think they'll 3-0 them. I think they 3-2'd. Miami 3-2'd them. It was kind of fugazi because they probably were going to win it, but Scrap had a streak, and then he called in the... I don't even remember the name of it. The Dreadnought. And then he got stuck in an animation for 20 seconds. So if it wasn't for that, they might not even lost map 4. So they might have 3-1 them then. I still think Miami's definitely good enough to take a map from them. So I'm going to go 3-1 LA Thieves. FaZe Ultra. Ultra has not looked good, really, since they dropped... since they got Beans back for Merc. They haven't really looked good at all. I think they get a map. It might even be a 3-0. I'm going to be honest. But I think they maybe get a map off of them. But even then, probably not. It's pretty fucking bleak for Toronto. Unless they figured something out. But I think the biggest problem is their ARs. I don't think it's their subs look great. Like, Kleenex and Joe Deceives look phenomenal on the sub duo. Jamie, Insight, and Beans kind of looked lost. Like, Insight's just too slow, and Beans hasn't been bringing the firepower since they did that little... Since that little substitution stuff happened. So, I think it's going to be FaZe 3-1. Pretty easy. They're looking good. They're on an upward trend, similar to LA Thieves. But yeah. Moving down to Losers. Ooh, Optic got a terrible pull. They have to play Miami, Toronto versus Vancouver. Low-key, beginning of the year, Vancouver was Toronto's kryptonite. Like in those Major 2 and Major 3. Ooh, this is... I'm going to take Toronto 3-2, actually. I think they've looked a little bit better than Vancouver, and you don't know... I know it's going off like recency bias and stuff like that. You don't know what Vancouver's going to come into this into champs at. You know, Major 4, they weren't good, but Toronto wasn't really either, but Toronto did better than Vancouver. Vancouver, I think, got double Elam'd, maybe one win, and then Elam'd. I think Toronto lost to Optic round in top 6, so, like, at least they gave up a decent fight. Vancouver, though, no, not very good. And then Optic versus Miami. Do I take my personal bias into it and pick Optic because I'm like, oh, I want to see them go far? Do I take Miami because they might be the better team right now? You know, Optic did get, what, 4th? And it's because they only played LA Thieves. I think if Thieves beat Miami originally, this would have been the matchup from last time. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Optic 3-2. I think it's going to be a close series, but I think Optic might pull it out because these two teams are definitely 4th. It's unfortunate that they got paired together because I think right now these two teams are actually 3rd and 4th. I don't think they're much higher than that. Well, I mean, anyone else is higher than them. Sorry. Optic Ultra. Optic seems to have Ultra's name, so I'm going to pick them 3-1. Yeah, that should be the way it goes. And then I just think Optic matches up better. I think Dashy beats Insight. Mercules beats Beans. Hook and Joe DeCesar probably pair together, and then Kleenex and Shotzi. Honestly, that matchup's gonna. This whole weekend's gonna come down to like Shotzi and Dashy. I feel like because Hook and Merc have been playing pretty consistent. It's Shotzi scamming and Dashy frying. If Dashy's not frying and Shotzi's scamming, they're fucked. If those guys are playing their lives good and Dashy's frying, I think they'll be fine. Hook has been so good for them, and this will be the time where I'll jinx it or whatever, and he'll not play good. But I think he'll play good, and I think they'll get this win. LA Thieves FaZe. I don't think this matchup matters because both of these teams are going to be right here. I'm going to pick LA Thieves again. It's going to be 3-2. I think they'll win. I think they'll win this one. But I don't think it really matters who wins it. I think if FaZe wins it, LA Thieves going to go down and win. I think if Thieves win it, or FaZe going to go down and win. Let's just honestly move on to the grand finals. Because this league is a 2-team league this year. Like, that's what it is. So yeah, I just can't. The other ones to get there matter, but like it's really like you're picking third, and then you're trying to just flip a coin almost. At this point, it's been flip a coin. It's been 50-50 of who's gonna win champs. So you kind of gotta put it there, try to get the points right, I guess. So we'll say a 3-2 again. Optic will give them the run. We'll say 3-1. Optic's going to give them a run in both hard points. They might get shit on search. It'll be a close control, and then hard point. Game over. So moving on to the one that everyone wants to know about, everyone cares about, is the grand finals of Thieves versus FaZe. I personally think Thieves is going to win again. I think they're going to go 3 times back to back to back. I know FaZe is more decorated technically in champs. They have Simp and Abizi both on 2, Draza and Celium both on 1. So they've got a lot of champs rings on that side. LA Thieves have... Who do they have? They have just Hydra on 1 and Envoy on 1, I believe. And then Dan and Scrap haven't won yet. I think Dan and Scrap not winning, especially Scrap, I think because if they get to the grand finals, which I'm pretty positive they're going to do, Scrap's want for the chance ring since he was there last time, like 2 years ago, and they got fucking body bag world starred. I think they're going to get back and win it. I just don't see it any other way. Like, they gotta be able to do it. And Hydra was kind of against last year's chance finals, and he kind of got shit on too by Optic. So I'm gonna take LA Thieves. Now I'm gonna say it's even gonna go further. I think it's gonna go map 7. I'm gonna go. Oh wait. Oh, this one's 9. I forgot this one was 9. I'm gonna go 5-3 then. You know what? Nah. Because I want it to go around map 9, I'm going to say 5-4. If this goes map 9, round 11, this will be the best matchup of ever. Like, there's the Dynasty and stuff like that, and they had matchups. But, like, this year's LA Thieves versus FaZe matchup has been insane. And it would only be, like storytelling that FaZe won the first major 4-3 and map 11 or map 7 round 11. Then FaZe won against Vancouver. Thieves won against Vancouver. Thieves won against FaZe 4-2. I guess it wasn't as close. And then Thieves win against FaZe last in champs 5-4 round 11. That'd be, see the storyline there. Alright, and that's my picks for the CDL Champs 2025. I know some of these picks might be bold and you might not agree with them, but let me know in the comments down below who you have winning. Do you agree with me or do you think I'm faded? Let me know if you're enjoying these videos, and if you are, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and turn notifications so you don't miss any of my next videos. Until next time, I'll see you next one. Peace.